Hey guys, so I just watched a video about in particular about nostalgia. So I wanted to get my new 2 cents about it because in many ways that video kind of resonates with me as I fit into the age group of like early 1990s, mid 2000s. I'm obviously a millennial, so I obviously fit that age group of like young adults that fit into that. So the person in question says that, well, the feeling that you have nostalgia is dead and you can't get that back. I mean, in a way, I agree. In a lot of ways, you can't replicate that feeling when you experience certain moments when we're watching as a viewer for the first time or you're playing this game for the first time. I think, in a way, some of it is untrue because let's say if it's like you're experiencing a new game properly for a long time. Let's say, for example, in my case, majority of my channel's presence has been all about Persona 5, right? And to a certain extent, Atlas games. I'm gonna get into playing Metaphor sometime this year. Even though like a few years since the original Persona 5 game, not Royal, not counting Royal, came out, that game to me is already nostalgic for the sheer fact that like it seems like yesterday I just played the game for the first time, you know? Like if I ever picked it up again, it would feel that way. But um even if when I'm getting into an IP that's been out for a while, such as Persona, like already I'm already feeling like nostalgic just by playing the older games. Like Persona 3 Fest, for example, or 4. Um but I do agree that a lot of the experiences you've had as a young adult, um, well, I rather say young kid to young adult, like a lot of it you can't get back. Like the first time I saw Star Wars, for example, and then the very first time I saw Dragon Ball Z, like I remember those moments as if it was yesterday when I was like a younger kid. Um, and personally, um, I'm in the position that I'm quite lucky that I'm still trying to find work and all that, but I'm in a position where I don't have to work at the moment. So it's like I'm lucky in the regard that you know, I still have a supporting family, I still have a support system. Not many people can afford that. And especially those that have to work 9 to 5, they don't have the luxury of thinking about what's happened in the past and all that. They kind of have to think about their own growth as we get older. We're thinking about, what can we do in the present that will, benefit us in the long run, in the long term. Um, so personally, uh, the times I remember, like, I'm just gonna get back into like times I remember like watching like Code Geass for the first time. I realized like watching Code Geass for the first time was like my first like that was an anime that got me to realize, yeah, you got your Naruto's, your Bleaches, your Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, you whatever, like the fat. This anime cemented this the an that Code Geass was like the anime that basically made me realize anime can become cinema levels of sophistication. Like there is a lot more grandiose than just, the common fare that you're used to. And even I would say the common fare has its, right to exist because without them, to be honest, without Dragon Ball Z, I probably wouldn't really even get into anime as hard as I did. Or maybe I would. Knowing me, there's always going to be something that will pique my interest. But when I was younger, I used to be a lot more picky in what I was getting into compared to now. Compared to like even when I was a teenager, even. Um, oh man, thinking back, those were simpler times. Like, um, the house that I live in used to be a lot, I wouldn't say bigger, but I used to live in a hillside, gated community. Oh man, the fact that I moved from California to Texas is like, it didn't really dawn on me that, moving wouldn't impact me so much, but that's kind of why. I guess in a way I'm guilty of the nostalgia because I didn't want to move away from my state even for the longest time. But I realized, especially if you're growing up or whatever, you're going through life, something like it's, I wouldn't say simple, but something like moving is inevitable. You're probably never going to be in the same place for too long. Maybe that's another video on its own. I'll probably do like a retrospect on like how much like moving has affected me. So stay tuned for that potentially in the future. This was just like off the cuff video that I wanted to make because it's just the nostalgia video hits home. So yeah.